Hello and welcome to this tutorial. We will be learning a bit about geometry nodes. This is a part of everything nodes that will change the way we manage modifiers, particle system and constraints for now. The idea is to bring all that to nodes. And I think it's a good idea to have to manage everything on the same way. If you think, for example, now when you create a particle system, it's very different from when you create, for example, a material or when you animate something. And I think that having everything on the same way, it's something that at least I prefer. Starting at the same time this is being developed is interesting because at the moment we have only, I don't know, 20 to 30 nodes, and it's easy to incorporate that, to understand how they work, and go maybe on each update you can incorporate the new ones. We can make a new tutorial for each update, and that way you will be ready when this is all done, because if you don't, maybe it's not the same to suddenly change everything and have, I don't know, 200 different nodes or whatever from one day to the other. And so, well, if you're interested, we will be, at the moment, we can play a bit with booleans and with what particle system replacement will be. So we will be doing a two-part tutorial, one for each. You can go to blender.org and go to download. This is in alpha at the moment, so if you prefer not to download it, it's up to you. If you want to follow what I'm doing, you can go here and download the 2.92 alpha. This will be released, I think, in January or February, so it's not that far away. And it will bring the first part, that it's what we are going to see now. I prepared a little scene. It's just something similar of the it's similar to the example with the pebbles, but I wanted to do something a little bit different, and also explain step by step, because maybe if you just download the file and see the nodes, there's of course people that already know how they work, but also people that are not that familiar with nodes. And so we will be recreating that and playing a bit with booleans also. For example, you can change the length of the grass here, or the flowers, for example, and the density. Okay, so we will start from 0. At the moment, this only works with point cloud, so I think it will be working with regular objects soon. I'm not sure. So the first thing we will add is a plane where we will be distributing the particles. We will also add the point cloud. We will go to edit mode on the plane, subdivide, I don't know, by 50. We can add a displace modifier, new, go to textures, change to clouds. Make the size a bit bigger. Shade smooth. And the strength of it, just to have something like a terrain or something. Then we will add a few particles that we will be using. I think at the moment it's not working with collections, but of course everything will be added step by step. We will make something simple, I don't know. You can change the origin point to the base or do it with nodes after. To make it this easier at the moment, I will just select this, Ctrl S, cursor to selected, and set origin to 3D cursor. I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I could speed up this part, but sometimes people prefer to watch everything, and you can decide, you can do it manually if you want. Okay, so this is to have just something to use as a particle. I will add also a second particle like I did on the demo file. And we will add a little sphere there. Now that we have our two particles, we will select the point cloud and we will add geometry nodes modifier. Then we will go to shading because it's already organized like this. We can change here to geometry node editor and we will have our first two nodes. First thing we have to do, Shift S, we can search. We need a point distribute and point instance. The first one, sorry, we don't like that. And info or geometry was object info. Here we can select a different object. Whatever we create, we can add it here. And this is where the points will be distributed. So we use the plane, geometry, and as you can see we have like placeholders there. Even if we change the number, you will see this. And now we have to tell what to put there. We do this with this other node, point instance. We plug it here and we choose the object. So we will use grass 1 in this node here, and as you see we already have something similar to a particle system. What we can do with this is to, for example, for variability we can add attributes, random attribute. The first thing we will do is to change the scale to a random number. We can decide minimum and maximum scale. We have to, this will probably change in the future. For now you have to type the attribute. So we type scale, and we have, for now we have a range of 0 to 1, but I think the grass is also too tall for the size of the the plane we are working, so I will do it maybe 0.2 to 0.6. Then we will add another random attribute. This time we will change the float to vector. What you see here is a rotation in every axis from 0 to 1, and that's in radians. So this is you have a pi is 180 degrees. So what we can do is rotate everything between positive pi and minus pi. This is a full rotation, 360 degrees, but we don't want the rotation to get underground, so we don't want them to, we want the full rotation on the z-axis. That's why they rotate like this, that's fine, but in y and x axis we have to limit it. So we will try something. Maybe if you select the, without releasing the button, you can choose two values at the same time. And then, for example, minus, I don't know, 1 to 1. Maybe that's still too much. Minus 0.5 to 0.5. That's better. Okay, so we have the random rotation, random scale. You can see if you change the the maximum and also the minimum. That changes. You can also change this to maybe vector and alter the scale differently, for example. So just for you to understand. Maybe I don't want to scale the grass too much in X and Y, only the height. So I can set this to always 1. Or if that's too much, I can change that to 0.3 and 0.3. That way it's always, even if it's taller, it's the same thickness. And this is 0.3 and maybe 0.3 to 0.6. That looks better. And then you can change the density. We will see a bit. We can create a weight map there. I will show you in a bit. So first thing we can do is we have our density here for the grass. I will multiply it because it's, sorry, I will use a math node to multiply it by, I don't know, 100. And plug this to the group input, and then with N you bring up this panel. You can change the name of the value to grass density, and then if you go to the modifier here, you already have the interface here to change the grass density outside the node setup. Maybe a bit more variability in the height. And we can use this one as well. To do that, we always select the point cloud. That's the one who has the modifier. And now if we will use the same object because it's where we will be distributing this particle to. We will probably copy everything here to start, but we will change this to grass 2, and here we need join geometry. We plug both. We plug this here. Okay. We never apply the scale of this. And now we have this also here. I made that taller. Let me see. And here. And maybe less amount of particles. We will plug this one to another multiplier. And here. Okay. One thing I noticed is that even if you remove the plane, it's using like the object data, so it will remain there. You can even change the everything, and it will be still working. We'll add a basic material for this. You add it to the particle, to the object. So first we have to change this from geometry node editor to shader editor. And now we will do something like new material. Let's call it grass. We will be object info, and we will use the random. This will give a random value between 0 and 1 to every instance of the object. So if we combine that with a ramp, every instance will have a number from 0 to 1. The color ramp uses 0 to 1 also, so they will land in different parts of this ramp, and you can assign now different colors. That's up to you. Okay, that's fine. And this to color, we will also change this roughness. Let's do this fast and easy. Now we will take care of the flower. We will assign 2 materials to it. So we take grass, and then we will add a second material, create new, and flower, edit mode. You can select it with L, since it's a separate object, an island, and assign. Be sure you're selecting this, assign, exit edit mode, and then we will use also the object info, ramp, we can use, I don't know, a rainbow, and also to make it a bit more interesting, to the emission color, and change the strength to, I don't know, let me activate bloom. And there we go. Then we can go back to our geometry node editor and we will be select the plane, go to weight paint. For the ones who don't know, this will create vertex groups with different weight on them. It's like here it's like creating a, if you for example select vertex and you assign a weight, for example 1, you will see that I will hide the point cloud for a moment. You will see that they are painted in red here. You can do the same, but more like easier, like painting only. If you go here, you can change. Here we are painting with a weight of 1 and a strength of 1. That means that everything I paint will be completely red. If we change this for example to 0.5, whatever I paint will be in the middle, that's green. And if you go to 1 but change the strength, it's like you can keep adding weight to the region. So we will do just a pattern to show how this works. I will leave a hole in the center, more or less, and we will call this grass, just to make it easier to the people that is not used. I will use this BG, I don't know, Vertex Group. And then we can go back to object mode and hide our point cloud, select point cloud, and here where you have the density attribute, you can type the name of the vertex group. We can type this name here. And as you can see, now for the flowers we can do a different pattern. We again select the plane, go to white paint, and we create a second vertex group. And I don't know, maybe in the corners there's more flowers. Go back to object mode, select the point cloud, and as you can see, we have flowers distributed more in the corners. Okay, so that's how the particle system works with nodes. We will be making tutorials with the updates, and on the next part we will see a bit of the Boolean system and to get an idea of how the modifiers can work with nodes too. See you on the next video.